And welcome everybody to another segment with myself, Coach Richard Quisenberry, and Robert Landers, former Ohio State player. We're here today to share some information with you that we feel could change your life and help you in many ways. So, just some information from the book that's coming, Unlock What's Exceptional About You. And we want to share today about intentional growth, and the importance of intentional growth, and really, hopefully, that it's a never-ending process that people choose in their life, but not everybody does. Both Robert and I are in different places in life, and intentional growth is important to both of us. And so, for me, pouring into him and to continue to share with him how to continue to be a lifetime learner is a critical piece. So we're just going to share some information from the book, and just a topic that we feel is vital to some of the young athletes coming up, some of the student athletes who want to play at the next level, whether it's Division 1, 2, or 3, or JUCO, does not matter. That intentional growth piece is a separator. And I'm going to let Robert talk about his position on that, and how he feels about that, coming from a younger generation, and seeing some of the things that he sees and the young people that he's coaching, and what he saw when he was also at Ohio State.
Let me ask you this, Pops. What influenced you to title the chapter that in particular?
Intentional growth, that chapter, I know, was a difference maker for me as an individual. But as a father, though, it started with me because of what I saw my son not getting and what he needed.
Yeah.
So my growth is his growth, and everybody in my family. People do what people see.
Yeah.
Right. So when he saw me working on me, it gave him permission to work on him.
Yeah.
And that's why this chapter is one of my favorite chapters, and one of the most important chapters in the book, because it does not only change your life, it also changed the life of the people around you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I say for me, a lot of my journey with intentional growth, as we know, started young with just the simple fact that I had to kind of be that idol, that blueprint for my brothers. You know what I mean? So, and I knew early that everything that I did, I had to kind of do it with purpose. And I knew it, and within a lot of it, I was going to fail. But with failure comes lessons, it comes learning. That's where you get your growth. And it's like, okay, this is where I'm gonna actually be able to give my most detailed piece of advice or opinion or guidance to my brothers, or now my son, or now my daughter, you know what I mean, later on down the road, if they just so happen to come across any type of similar trials and tribulations. But I knew I had to kind of be that sacrificial lamb, so to say. And I don't want to get biblical, but that's kind of what it is. When you're the first to do something, you gotta put yourself in an uncommon, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar territory that you have to be willing to accept that failure is going to come.
Were there any fears about being the first?
I I wouldn't say I more so had fears about being the first. I had fears about more so fears towards failing. My biggest concern was going through it and not being enough, or going through it and falling short, and then on the back end have to look at somebody and be like, and when they ask me what happened, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I think that was my biggest thing, is not having the answer. So I say the biggest fear for me was not so much as being the first, it was just not being successful within being the first.
And I think that, even as a father, having 5 kids, having 5 different personalities, how do I meet the need of all of them? And I got a wonderful wife that is at the top of the list on that. And being intentional is about waking up each day and having a plan in mind.
Yeah.
I've written it down. I've thought about it. Even if I don't accomplish it, I know what I missed.
Yeah.
But without intentionality, I always say we get leftovers.
Yep.
I told you get leftovers. You didn't plan, you didn't prepare. And so you're watching somebody else who woke up with a plan to get 1% better today.
Yep.
And that's all I'm shooting for. I try to teach my 1% better. Over the years, it adds up.
Yep.
But when we talk about kids wanting to play at the next level and not having and understanding what it means to be intentional about getting up and working on your skill, getting up, and going to the gym and lifting. You're behind the 8 ball before you even get started at that next level.
I think some of that, personally, I feel like some of that is lack of preparation for myself. I went through my struggles, and I had a point in time where at Ohio State, I was not prepared. You know what I mean? And I can recall back to calling my mom, wanting to come home, you know what I mean? But realizing, she asked me, if you come home, you got to figure it out. I don't got a plan in place for that. I never planned for that. I planned to get to the next level. I planned to get school paid for. I planned to graduate with my degree. I planned to play. My dream was to play at Ohio State. I ended up being fortunate and blessed enough and worked hard enough to make my dream a reality. But that dream, it came with a lot of things that I was not prepared for. Nobody could prepare me for it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, and I say for me, even during my tenure at Ohio State, I saw a lot of guys come in not prepared, and that's why they ended up leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of it was I saw guys come in, their families were not prepared for that phone call.
Right.
And guess what? They ended up leaving.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I appreciate my mom's, I don't want to say ignorance in a negative term, but her ignorance to what I was going on as an athlete at Ohio State.
Gotcha. Understand.
Her thing was, she understood, okay, I got a son that's in sports, and this is a tough time that he gonna have to endure and try to figure it out. So her not having the knowledge of what I was really going through as an athlete helped me, because it's like, all right, dog, you truly gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, our plan got us to this point.
Right.
What we gonna do?
But the thing I look at is she prepared you more in life than she did in football.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
And so when I look at this, what we're talking about with our leadership program and what we're trying to do with young people and parents is an understanding you don't know what you don't know.
That's it.
But for me, my goal was to prepare my kids mentally to understand how to recover when you're told you're not enough, how to figure out how to be noticeable while everybody else is sleeping, and you're getting up every morning and that coach is seeing you in the gym working. Now you're noticeable. It's obvious that you want to get better and you want to improve his program that you're a part of. And so that intentionality has a tendency to make you noticeable, and people don't figure that out. They feel like, well, I'm here now, but when you got to Ohio State, now what?
Be careful what you ask for at times.
And you get to that next level as a pro, now what? But when I've learned to be intentional, I figure out now what at that next level.
Yeah. I'll say this too, though, Pops, especially at that next level. When it clicks for you on how to be intentional, understand that comes with more responsibility.
Correct.
Right. And that's where a lot of guys that are elite, that's where they're kind of making and broken between being elite and being legendary, truthfully. Because it's like, all right, I did the work to get here. I did the work to get to this point. I proved it. I paid my dues. Correct. You're a 5-star, or you are a projected first round draft pick. You still got some more work to do, though, dog. You got to prove it. You got to be better than who you were the previous day.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
No, that's when it gets tough. You know what I mean? That's when it gets tough.
Every day.
Yeah, because now at that next level, reinventing and everybody there is pretty good or they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're at that level too.
100%.
So what separates you from them? Elite is from the neck up.
That's it.
Right. So elite is I know how to budget my time. I know how to operate among this group of elite athletes and become a leader who leads by example.
Yep.
And people have a tendency to follow you because you do what you say. You know what I mean? Your word is good with them. And everybody, when we talk about leadership, people assume leadership is all about the physical. Like he can run, he can jump, she can run, she can jump. But you know, at the end of the day, so can everybody else, or they wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is about understanding how to elevate others. Like I want to be around her or him because every time I do, I feel like I play harder. I feel like,
That's it.
you know, they're positive. I feel like they know what they're doing. I'm following them. And people miss the leadership piece because they think it's based on talent and intelligence.
Yep. I say one of my favorite guys that I played with at Ohio State that got a lot of hate in the media was JT Barrett. Yeah. Right. JT Barrett was, in my personal opinion, an elite level quarterback that had some injuries that he had to battle. Like all athletes, you get setbacks at some point. At some point in time, you're gonna get a setback. Like it just comes with the territory. And some setbacks are a lot harder than others. But he is also the same guy that within those setbacks, I seen him endure. I seen him fight back. I seen him battle back. I seen him be the same guy on the same recovering knee during summer workouts, pushing the entire pace of the team. He's at the front of the pack and auto running. As soon as he get through the line, you see him hurting, wincing. But guess what? This is summer workout. This is middle of summer. It's not like and he's a returning starter. It's not a question of what his position is.
Yes.
It's not a question of is he gonna play? No, it's how many snaps is he gonna get in this game? You know what I mean? So he's really solidified in his seat. But he was the same guy still every day. He there an hour before everybody. If we got 5 a.m., he gonna be there at 4. If we got 6 a.m., he's probably still gonna get there at 4:30, watch a little bit of film, get some treatment before we even get started for whatever the day may bring. Like he was one of those guys that for him it wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
And you could see it, you could feel it, you could smell it. And he was a great guy in general to be around off of the field.
Yeah, that's it, B. That's it. That's the leadership. This is what parents miss when we talk about our leadership program. It's not what you have to do, it's what you choose to do.
Yep.
When nobody else is doing it, I'm not concerned other guys aren't showing up. I know what I need to do as a leader because to whom much is given, much is required.
100%.
And if you don't require it of yourself, then you're missing the whole point of what elite is. Yep. Nobody's asking you to do this. Nobody's telling you you have to do this. You have decided, like we said, it's not a choice. Mm-hmm. I'm elite and I know what I have to do for other guys to understand how to elevate our program because people do what people see. I remember Darius talking about when he first went to Youngstown, he called me. Hey, Dad, ain't nobody else. I mean, nobody else coming to the gym. I said, and how does that change anything for you? Right? It doesn't change anything. Do what you are required to do for yourself, like you always have done, and it will trickle down to the other guys. And eventually it did. Like, it's not about what he's saying, it's about what he's doing. Yep. I'm inviting you guys, and I'm going to keep inviting you. And when you don't come, I'm not upset. I'm just letting you know if I have some success, there's a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to have the same success, but I can't choose that for you. You got to choose it for yourself. And that's what leadership is. Like I want it for you too, but you got to figure out as an individual that if you're going to be elite, this is no longer a choice.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, so that, like we said, the intentionality piece of understanding the difference, like how do I make a difference for myself and how do I bring the other people along with me? So I'll go back to Bianca sending Bianca to come to high school.
Yeah.
Her 8th grade year, again, we went and watched. They're 0-21. Did not win one game.
Ooh, okay.
One game. Now,
All right.
let's talk about elite from the standpoint that others may not understand your purpose.
Yep.
They don't have the vision you have. Nobody had the vision that we had of her going and changing a program, not going somewhere where KR is already established, that CJ is already
Yeah.
established. They're winning games.
Yeah.
So now you're just gonna go fit into a program that has been winning.
Yep.
Can you go into a situation? Now, this is an 8th grader, go into a situation and change that culture and that environment. That's a challenge.
True.
That's a challenge. And that's, you think about it, they go from 0-21 to her senior year winning 23 games.
Wow.
It's a process. Intentional growth is a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
I'll say something with this though, Pops. That process is very uncomfortable. But kudos to you as a parent because you were willing, and we're gonna say as a dad, because you was willing to put your baby girl. Because I'm not gonna lie, me and my baby girl, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you was willing to put your baby girl truly in uncomfortable positions, allow her to truly get forged in the fire, and because she asked for it,
Yeah.
you knew what came with it, and you knew for you not only as a parent, but as a mentor, as that person that she looks at in a certain type of light that she'll never look at anybody else like. You knew you were gonna have to be tough with her. You were gonna have to have tough conversations that was gonna hurt her feelings, that was gonna make you the villain for maybe a short period of time or a long period of time until it clicked for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's something that once again it goes back to parenting. A lot of parents aren't willing and or prepared to have the conversations and or apply the tough love that is needed and necessary for in order to allow their kid to truly have success in an area that they might not have never been themselves.
Yeah.
So like that truly it starts at home, and that goes back to what you've done. You built and created that environment for Bianca to where it was later on down the road, we got tight games. Give me the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? Give me the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it was one of those things too. You knew that she was forged enough and she had enough reps added to where when she asked for the ball, give her the damn ball.
Yeah.
Let her do her thing. I got trust in her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her take care of it. You know what I mean? So, and that's kudos to you. I'll say for me personally, I wasn't prepared for it, I'll say.
Yeah.
So I got forged in fire that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got forged in temperatures that I thought I knew what it was like to be in the kitchen when it was hot.
Right. Yeah.
No, it was something completely different, you know, and I had my time where it was like, and I'm sure Bianca had it, whereas, am I built for this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Like truly, am I built for this?
Yeah.
And when me getting to college was the first time I had to really ask myself that question too. Like, am I truly built for this? Like, I might not be who I thought I was.
When did you know that you were? When did you figure out, like, you know what? I got this. I can do this. I got this. I can do this.
I'll tell you this. It took me all the way until spring ball in my freshman year.
Yeah.
Like even like after freshman camp, I ended up getting my black stripe off. I was one of few freshmen because my class, the 2015 class, they did not like us too much. However, it was understandable. We were a bunch of delinquents.
Yeah.
But we were great. We were dogs on the field,
Mm-hmm.
but some of us we were dogs off the field too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like it was puppy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Late to a workout, or you missed the class because you overslept. And some of us were a little bit more defined than others. It was what it was. You know what I mean? But however, on the field, we were gritty, we were hungry, we were nasty, and we didn't care.
Right.
So I was one of few guys in that class that had the opportunity to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, be careful what you ask for. That was a goal of mine.
Right.
But it was humbling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Riding that pine and college, I learned real quick. College games is a lot longer than high school games. So sitting in the cold and you sitting there, it was humbling, Pops. And then you look around and for me too, one of my first legit college game experiences was Virginia Tech, my freshman year, Braxton Miller's the spin move. I had never been in a true college atmosphere like that. Vautech is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew going into Vautech, like coach told me, be ready. If he called my number, I was gonna be ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And it took me until that spring ball for ball to click for me, but for mentally me to grow the hell up and be like, you know what, bro? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I can say and to athletes, they'll understand this. And you get to that point, especially in a practice or a workout, your legs burning, your lungs burning, you cramping, you're like, bro, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
When you get to that point, you're like, you know what? We gotta turn this, dog. Die.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Right.
When I had that moment, I'm like, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
That's a good point. Good point. And again, when these parents talk about D1, you know, I've talked to you, I've talked to Trav, I've talked to Darius. It's not what you think. It's so much more mental than it is physical, and that's why the transfer portal is so filled with people. My goal with my own was to constantly remind them of my love for them as my son and daughter. To constantly talk to them about why. Like the one thing Bianca made the statement the one time that hit me, she said, I can't get mad at Dad because he always talks to me afterwards. Like he explains it. I remember we were at a tournament. She's not working. I looked right at her. I said, you ain't no D1 athlete. Yes, I am. Went back on the floor and she played like a D1. But I challenged her on the thing and I told her, why do you think I said that to you? Because of what I'm capable of. Yes, because of what you're capable of. If you're not playing like a D1 athlete, I'm telling you, you ain't playing like no D1 athlete.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sugarcoating this for you, but to explain to her, like, to play to your ability, the whole time you're on the floor is what is about being elite. When you go to the bench, that's when you rest. When you're on the floor, there is no rest. That's a different mindset to push through on that. So you're telling me, like, at practice where it started, I expect her to finish first in every sprint. Not every other sprint, every sprint. I expect you to win every drill. Why? Because that is the elite mindset you got to have. So when that moment comes and the ball's in your hand, there's a level of confidence that you got. People ain't even seen. They don't even understand why you're not afraid to take the shot or make the shot or miss the shot. That's a different mindset that we're trying to teach these young men and women to understand. That's a skill set that you can develop.
100%.
That's a skill set. And this is what we're about. Like at the end of the day, how can we help prepare you for those moments? And again, when we're training you, when we're working with you, why do we train our bodies so hard, but forget to train our minds?
Because the body is a lot easier to train than the mind.
It is.
That mental is uncomfortable, because this is what I'll say: when you train the body, you go to the gym, you tell yourself, I'm gonna work out for 2 hours. So already you prepared your body to, all right, we're about to grind for 2 hours. But your mental, when it comes to training your mental, once you start that journey, it ain't no stopping
It's
until
no
it's
stop.
done.
It's 24/7.
It's over with at that point in time. Like once you make that commitment to yourself and your mental, it's on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So those, you're not only gonna have uncomfortable conversations with other people, but them times when you at home by yourself and you
Yes.
reflecting on your day, now you gotta have some of them uncomfortable conversations with yourself. And Coach Meyer used to have this saying that he used to say to us: if you lie to me, it make you a liar. If you lie to yourself, it make you mess up. His choice of words is a little different.
Yeah.
But the older I've gotten, it's like, man, that make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully,
Yeah.
it's damn near impossible to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you do, and you're able to do so, you talk some more.
Yeah, it's a problem. You'll never get to where you want to go. It is tough. One of the toughest things to do in life is to be brutally honest with ourselves.
Yep.
It's because, well, I did do that yesterday, so I don't have to do it today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can talk ourselves in anything and convince ourselves of anything if we have not, again, drilled ourselves on being honest with ourselves. We say this in our household: the way we do one thing is the way we do everything.
Yep.
So the mental training is about everything that I do. If I choose one word for the year, my one word is excellence. And I've taught my kids this: what's your one word? Because if excellence is my one word that I'm focusing on, then everything that I am doing is about doing it with excellence, not perfection. I'm not trying to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, when I'm done writing this paper, when I'm done making a meal, when I make my bed, excellence. That's just what I'm trying to do in my life. So when I get on the field, on the floor, it comes out. What's in you comes out.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to get parents and these young people to understand. The mental training that we're offering, that we're sharing, is about life. You're going to do life longer, you're going to do that sport.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It just so happens that the sport gonna just teach you some life skills.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But if you already got a good handle on it going in, you get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
You get a lot more out of it, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I don't know. We've talked about a lot of different pieces when it comes to being intentional growth, and just being intentional in your life. And again, this chapter is a critical chapter about personal growth that affects you in every area of your life. Like, if you're only trying to grow in the sports arena, if you're only trying to grow in the classroom, all those things intersect at some place. They intersect. You know what I mean? A good leader has to be good in the classroom to be on the field or be a part of a team. Like, if I focus on my skill set on the court and I don't take care of business in the classroom, I'm not going to be there anyway.
100%. 100%. They all tie in. And I say, personally, I always try to speak from my own personal experiences first. Like, the game had to teach me some life skills, but life built me to have tough skin to make it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I think some of the issue is we're not prepared for what life gonna throw at us. But it's also a lot of people that haven't experienced a lot of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd say during my time at Ohio State, I had some guys that if you heard their testimony, it's like, oh, okay, my testimony, like, I do appreciate it.
Right.
But you make me appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know what you're saying.
I had some guys that just like, dog, you ain't got no clue.
Yeah.
you have no clue about what the real world really gonna do. You know what I mean? And I think today's generation need a little bit more guidance on what tough skin really look like.
Yeah.
They need more reps at it. Truthfully, they need a lot more reps at it. And I'm a part of that. Like it's been times where Pops, we've had conversations that it's like, damn, really, I know I'm having this conversation right now, but it's got to be had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've learned something from you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where the uncomfortable part comes in. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable to get the growth that we're looking for.
Yeah. You know, I always thought about like with my own and you and the people I work with, like, what have I given you a value that you can't buy? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have I given you a value that you can't buy this? You know what I'm saying? And that's an important piece to me as I get older in life. Like, I feel my days get shorter. And so my expectations of myself of giving more, sharing more, and doing more, that grows.
Yeah.
You know, for me, my blessing of being in a big family, I got 4 brothers, 4 sisters. Man, my mama taught me how to figure out a lot of stuff. Like, hey, you ain't the only one. You know, I got 8 other ones, right?
Right.
So going down the aisle, I knew how to cook. I knew how to clean. I knew how to iron.
Yeah.
I knew, like, when I was hungry around the house, I'm gonna fix me a fried bologna sandwich. You know what I mean? Mama busy. You know what I mean?
We're gonna eat some way somehow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that, like you said, I mean, the life that I had, and then the intentionality that mom and dad taught me was how to go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna wait, you're gonna be hungry.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to be hungry. So again, I feel like you do. I was blessed to grow up in a time period and grow up in a family that I did with so many siblings that I was taught to figure it out or do without.
That's it. And let me ask you this. How did you navigate the household like that with so many of y'all?
You pay attention, you know, my older siblings played a big role, you know what I mean? And again, people do what people see. Here's why I went into education. I'm with my sister in Columbus, my sister Diane, and she worked at Tico, which was a hard place for young men who were incarcerated.
Yeah.
She's about 5'5", and I watched her control that classroom, and the respect that these young men gave her was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want some of that. You know what I mean? And again, she was kind, but she was direct with them, and they were so respectful with her and how they responded to her.
Yeah.
That I thought, man, that's a different type of leadership and love and respect that I ain't never seen. And I want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Like I want some of that. You know what I mean? So being in my household, watching my brothers in athletics, you know what I mean? Trying to keep up with them. And the one thing that my parents emphasized to the core was family. Like, when you leave this household, you better take care of your siblings.
Yeah.
Like they don't let me find out that you left them hanging or you didn't step up for them.
Yeah.
Because I came from very humble beginnings when we're talking about material stuff. But the one thing I was not missing was the love and companionship that we had within our household, that other kids loved being at our house because they saw it too.
Yeah.
So I just navigated it, man, through paying attention to my older siblings and being responsible for my younger siblings.
How you feel like they impacted the way that you brought up Darius and Bianca, especially not so much as like on the sports side, but just the mental piece of things. You know what I mean? This is what I said. Growing up
Yeah.
in a household with me, Trey, and Thomas,
Yeah.
3 boys was rough enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
We put a lot of holes in the
Oh
walls.
God.
We had a lot of arguments. We had a lot of
Right.
fellowship. Like, you know what I mean? And we always, remain close.
Yes.
But like I could say, like for me, naturally having to kind of step into the father figure role in the house, I understood that everything that I did was under a microscope because they're going to watch
Yes.
what I'm doing. Like I can
Yeah.
tell, hey, do this, clean your room, make your bed as big bro, but then it's like, man, you ain't making your bed. Your room dirty. Like, and we're so close in age to where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
he got a point. You know what I mean? But I told you, like, you know what I mean? So like, for you and your house, how did you feel like the way that y'all came up played a role in how you raised the kids?
There has always been a responsibility, again, because I grew up, you take care of your brother, your sister. I taught them the same thing. Like, even when they're outside on the court playing, it's competitive. I mean, it's like, I'm not giving you anything, you're going to earn it.
Yeah.
But the reason I want you to earn it is I want you to be better than me. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough love, and that's not easy for Malik to be an upperclassman. Here comes Darius, and everybody's comparing the two.
Yeah.
I had to have conversations about that with people, man. I had to let them know that's not what we do. You know what I mean? And even Darius said, Dad, I hate that. That's my brother. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
They compare us. But teaching them again at the end of the day, take care of one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your responsibility to him and me, Malik was a great big brother because Darius, a little hard headed.
Yeah.
That boy,
I love Darius.
Yeah, he hard headed. But Malik found a way to love him, and at the college level, pro level, become Darius' biggest fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, the one thing I try to teach him, you guys are going to spend more time with each other than you are with mom, and mom and I are going to be gone. You're going to have your sibling a lot longer than you have us. You love your mama, she'll be gone. You still have your brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, nothing comes between family. Because, man, you talk about them fight. I watched Bianca and Darius in tears disagreed about something. But a day later, going out to eat together. See, because I don't care how bad it gets, it's family. And that's a piece that you have to instill from an early age, day in, day out. We're going to fight. Like you said, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
But the love is deep enough that I'm going to forgive you, and we're gonna have fellowship again.
Yep.
And just like you do with your brothers, it's the same thing I taught them. Like, y'all on the court, y'all fighting, somebody got hit in the mouth. Here come Darius, get back out there, you know what I'm saying? And we laugh about stories about how they battled and went after each other. And probably the funniest one is, I remember the first time Darius beat Malik one-on-one. And I remember the first time Malik beat Bianca one-on-one. Not a single word. Nobody teased, nobody said anything, because that was a serious moment, right? Of establishing yourself. But it was also a respectful moment that I ain't gonna say nothing to you, because I know I might take a whooping if I do. like say something.
You take your win.
Yeah, take your win to be quiet. And so we talk about those things now, but to watch how close they are, and choosing to go to New York and spend time with Darius, or I'm getting on the plane, I'm going to go to Europe with, Malik went to Europe with his sister. Man, you talk about as a dad, that to me is my greatest success in life, is seeing how my kids understand the value of each other and the value of family.
Yeah.